Okay, so welcome everyone. And our title today is Bodies and Magic, right? So I wanted to look at if we truly are willing to know that we are magic with our bodies, that means that we have amazing capacities, right? And those, I remember a while ago, like I think a few years in when I started Access, Dane said that, if you knew how much potency you had, then you would be really careful what you wished for, because if you wished for a big pink rabbit, a big pink rabbit will appear. And with our bodies, that is actually it's quite amazing. So I have a strange example, but I just, we're so aware of our bodies that when we, for example, say we hate our bodies, or that we want to like change something with our bodies, like lose weight or something, we will also create that. Like we will create weird stuff. Our bodies will provide us what we ask for. And I've been really aware of this lately, where when our potency actually grows and our magic increases, because it does, so when our potency grows, to be willing to really use that potency for greatness also with our bodies. And every time we judge it, like really be aware that we're creating then as well. It's not like when you're truly aware, you don't have an off time. You are creating with your body continuously. So for me, it's become this, I've been really aware that my body is with me all the time. It's been with me since I was born. It's going to be with me until I die. Obviously, like it's who I travel through this reality with. It's the sensory organism I use to experience this reality. And every moment of every day, I am creating magic with it. And I can kind of like use it for bad or good. Like, so it's like this, it's kind of like with great power comes great responsibility. So how many of you have been avoiding the magic you could be with your body, because then you actually would have to be totally aware with your body? So everywhere where you've been doing that, everywhere you've been like avoiding the potency of the magic you can be with your body, because what then could you create, with any time you thought you would do something wrong or like not be totally present with your body? Would you uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm getting about public nice supposed to be honest. So I really been looking at it because I've been noticing how much my body actually responds to every little thing I think or feel. So today I went to a designer, I guess, in Croatia. So like a famous designer who's going to help me choose my clothes. And, when you walk in there and you suddenly, your body, I felt really beautiful when I walked in. And then I had this amazingly like coordinated judgment put on me by the designer. She's a very good designer. She knows exactly like what will look good on your body. But my body was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I could perceive my body shrinking and like going into like, it was so it was such an immediate reaction to the judgment and like the way she viewed me and what she would like to create me into instead of what I was, that I became aware that, okay, this is how subtle my body is now. This is how immediately it reacts, because I don't really have a barrier to that. And then I stayed there for like, we were there for like maybe an hour or something. And slowly over the time, she kind of like, it changed. Like, when you are with somebody. So at the end, my body, and me, and the vibration slowly changed her and the whole situation. So in the end, my body actually felt good about itself again. But in the beginning, it was one of those times where I walked in feeling beautiful. Somebody directed judgment, and magically my body turned into something, you know. So that part, how your body so immediately can react to something like judgment, which is so abundant in this reality, that is part of the magic, because it means that it will also respond the same way to gratitude and appreciation from you, you know, allowance, all of that. So everywhere where you actually been avoiding that magic you can be with your body, where you actually are able to fine tune everything with like a subtlety that is in the very vibration of the world. Would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm getting bad public night by meals. It's basically where, when we're kids, we learn to shut off the world and to what we're aware of, because we do that to avoid the judgment that the world, and there could be good or bad judgment, either that we're beautiful or sexy, or that we're ugly, and you know, whatever the judgment is, but not to have to deal with it, we shut it off. But that way we also shut off that, how our bodies has that immediate magical response that we could actually claim and own and be in the world. So for me, it's such a tiny example, but it was so good for me to notice how quickly it goes and how I can actually choose something different in that situation. So when I walked in, and when I walked out, I'm like, I changed it because I choose something different. I choose to be me with my body, and I choose to have my body's back. And then my body magically moves into, yes, of course, here I am. I'm wonderful. So everywhere that's been going on in your life where you haven't really been willing to be that aware, because if you were that aware, you would also have to be aware of all the judgments, all the points of views, and everything else that's like going through this reality. Would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm getting bad popcorn by some yawns. Okay, that's my kickoff for this call. What questions do you guys all have about magic and bodies? If you don't have any, I will keep talking, but if you have any, I would love it.
And everyone can just unmute themselves if they have a question.
And if you've been in a class with me, I see some people who have, so happy to see you. Just know you can, I so appreciate if you ask questions. We'll go on like an exploration, and don't worry if, you know, they don't need to be perfect. So everywhere where you think you have to ask a question that like fits into the theme or topic, let's uncreate and destroy that too. Okay, let me run a clearing that is actually similar to what I just talked about. So how many things have you been unwilling to be present with and ask that have maintained the limitations of magic you can be? Everything that is times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it. Right now I'm getting back Papagola choice by some yawns. So how many things have you been unwilling to be present with and ask that have maintained the limitations of magic you can be? Everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right now I'm getting back Papagola choice by some yawns. So what if magic actually comes from our willingness to be totally present with our bodies? Like beyond what we ever thought was possible. And yes, Leila, I would be happy if you asked there, but maybe your signal disappeared again. Well, so what Leila is asking is, my lymphatic system is really blocked. What magic can I be to change this? So that's like, so you've been asking questions around it. So did you get a diagnosis about your lymphatic system? Or did you choose that your lymphatic system is blocked? Like what's, what does the, where does the information come from you or from someone else? Like, oh, I think she's writing. I can see it and feel it. Okay. So first of all, what I've been looking at a lot lately with bodies is that, one, we do know our bodies better than anyone else. So it could totally be that your lymphatic system is blocked and you're aware of that, because we know usually when something is up with our bodies. But also, I would start asking your body what it's telling you. So if you can perceive, yeah, it can be a point of view and it cannot be a point of view. Like, I would really say that we are acutely aware of our bodies and we often know what's up with them, like really often. And Laura was on this call. She has an amazing way of, we did a podcast together where she talked about when she was in school and there were different things going on with her body, and she was in boarding school and she didn't like the nurse. Laura, you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm summarizing. And so she instead asked the water she drank to contribute to her, because she knew what was going on with her body. She knew that something, if she was sick or if something else was going on, and she would ask the water to contribute whatever she required, and it really worked for her. She seems to have a magical capacity to allow food and water to contribute what her body requires, which, if you haven't heard that podcast, I would really recommend it. We can put it in the follow-up email. It's one of my favorite ones that I did with Laura, where it is magic how we can ask for things to contribute to our bodies. And in this case, and so, yeah, it's like I'm wearing a huge body fat suit that's not mine. Yeah. Well, that can have to do with the lymph, but it can have to do with a lot of things. So I would start asking your body, what is it aware of that it would like to tell you? And secondly, this thing that Gary and Dane talks about a lot, what would your body like to look at? What would your body like to look like? Because if you feel like you're wearing this bodysuit that's not yours, your body most likely would like to look slightly different or feel slightly different, right? Because it's not really about how it looks like. That's other people looking at you, but you feel.
Kat, you frozen a little bit. Let's see if you come back.
If it didn't matter what anybody else that looked at you, am I still on? Because
yeah, you are now. You were frozen for a little bit.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. It's the Croatia internet. What I would like to say is, like, it really, like, the key to the way we be with our bodies is how we perceive them, how we feel inside of them. How other people view us is not going to change until we change the way we feel in our bodies, right? So it's like everything else. It sounds like such a cliche, like the beauty comes from within, but attractive people can look in any shape or form. You all know that. You are attracted to people that look everything from small and tiny to big and huge. You're attracted to people with curly hair, straight hair. Like, you're attracted to the life force in people, the vibration of living. That's what you're attracted to. So this thing where we use judgment to think that we're too small or fat or tall or all of that is really just judgment. So when you're feeling like the body, I have to read it again, a huge body fat suit that's not yours, ask your body what it would look like. That's the key to all of like the rest. And then, yeah, so and really, when you feel like your life force isn't as alive as it is, then that is what your body is telling you. So it's telling you something is off, a little off, right? So something is a little off. It could be your lymphatic system, it could be something else in your body. But if you know, that is way more relevant, I think, than if you feel you're too big or too small or any of that. It's the sense that your life force isn't there, like the vibration of living isn't there as much. Then I would start asking, so what is that? What's required? Like, body, what do you require? And sometimes it can be like something like a supplement. I mean, and sometimes it's a body process. Sometimes it's something that needs to change in your whole life and the way you live it. Sometimes, because now we don't really have a chance to facilitate as we would in a class, but sometimes it's something that you bought at some point in your life that has slowly like drained you of that vibration and living. So it could be all kinds of things, but your body is telling you something here. I would require something here to allow me to be the magic I truly be, which is that vibration of living that we can all have. Lila, I'm hoping that helps. It's hard to go deeper on a call like this and also without being able to talk to you. So does that help, Lila? And maybe she disappeared. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, you have to get back to me otherwise. And then Bronnie, are you the one? Yeah, Bronwyn, can you
Bronwyn, hi. Yes,
Hi.
Katarina, hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
So, without going into a story, but more of a, how do you manage, the question is around managing menopause and putting on weight. And it's menopause because, and I have a twin sister, we've both been through breast cancer. We're in menopause. So it's physically menopause. That's what it is. But it's just kind of happened overnight.
looking
and so,
at it?
yeah, so it's just, I'm not fitting into any
I
clothing
lost
and all
something.
of
You
these.
have a twin sister,
Oh, can you hear me now?
kind of.
Should
Try again.
I? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a twin sister, and we both in menopause, and it's menopause because we both went through breast cancer, and so this is kind of the, if I could take the journey that our bodies went on or chose, and so it's just kind of like overnight we've slammed ourselves into actual menopause, putting on weight, not feeling like our bodies are ours, if I could say that, and even just not fitting into clothing. And we live in two separate parts of the world, by the way. She is on the call, but we decided we'd ask the question together. So I don't know if you have anything to facilitate that.
Well, I would say, first of all, everywhere, all the women on the calls, and some of you may be way younger and some of you may be past the menopause, but everywhere we made that a wrongness, like that shift in life. It's great to destroy that, because that's like such a funny thing. So right now I'm going to be a Papa Night show is supposed to be on. So I would say menopause in general, you know, when we talk about change and consciousness, that change is uncomfortable. So I would really look at the more allowance we can have for menopause, the less of the resistance and reaction. And I've had a lot, so I totally get you. I'm with you on all of that. But the less of resistance and reaction, so it's that same thing as usual. You know, when we either you align and agree and you decide, oh yeah, with menopause, everybody gains weight. That's an alignment and agreement, right? And then that's a point of view that creates your reality. If you align and agree with the point of view at menopause, everybody gains weight, the body kind of falls apart. That's aligning and agreeing with what menopause is. And then that's the point of view that creates your reality. The other side is if you then resist and react to it and you decide, well, either you're going to like, no, it's not going to happen to me. I don't believe menopause is real, or I'm not there yet. And then you're resisting and reacting to it. And it actually creates the same thing, because both of them creates like, then you have to do the opposite of that. So allowance is really noticing something is changing with my body. Like my body is changing, my body's metamorphing into a different stage. And then you have that.
Sorry, Kat, you froze for a while. We didn't hear the rest of what you were saying.
Okay, so I'm so sorry. This is very annoying. I'm going to move to another part of the room and see if it gets better. Back.
Oh, you were frozen. So let's try now. Can you talk now?
Okay, how's this?
Yes,
Is
we
this better?
can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, I'm on my phone now. Like I switched the internet, so let's hope that works. And I'm so sorry. Why did you lose me?
When you
About
said-
allowance.
Okay, so if you're in allowance, what you're then asking, like look at the difference. So either you're aligning and agreeing or assisting and reacting.
Mm.
In allowance, it's really where the magic is. So I'm so happy you asked. So in allowance, you would say, okay, you're transforming.
Mm.
Like to the body, like you're
Mm.
changing. I'm noticing you're changing. I mean, we change ever since we're kids to we are adults. Like we don't have any breasts for a while as women, and then we suddenly do in teenage years. So we always change. So if you're in that allowance and you would really ask about, okay, so you're changing. I notice you're changing. Cool.
Mm.
What do you require? What do you desire? Because we so go on automatic with our bodies with what we eat, how we move, like all of those parts. What's different now? Whatever your system, how it's moving, it's different when you get to menopause. And also, I would uncreate and destroy everywhere you made it real.
Yeah, so true.
Everywhere. Yeah, that's what you laugh at. Let's go for that. Everywhere we made menopause real and brought this reality's point of view that that's how it is. Can we uncreate and destroy that?
Yes.
I'm good about public and choice boys. There are many women who have no signs of menopause at all. Therefore, it doesn't have
It's
to be there.
possible.
Yeah, it's possible not to have that, but it's also really easy to buy into. So say you see a little sign of something and you're trying to find out, why did I gain 1 kilo, right? And then you go, oh, it must be menopause, which is a conclusion, which takes you out of the magic of allowance. And then you conclude, oh, it's menopause. And then your body goes, oh, I'm in menopause. I'm supposed to gain weight. And that's what I talked about in the beginning. Your body goes there because your body is providing you with what you're asking for. And if you're asking for, oh, I'm in menopause, I'm gaining weight, then that's what your body will give you. So everywhere where we are like actually not using the magic of our bodies to our advantage, but to our disadvantage, can we upgrade and destroy that?
Yes.
Brian, I'm going to popcorn and choice by Smeons. Does that help, Bronwyn? There was a few.
No, immensely. It immensely helps. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for asking. I love that question because it not only applies to the menopause, that's just I think it's a very clear example of how we can use these tools to look at where we're going, but it's a very clear example of how we step out of our magic and suddenly we are the effect of something instead of being the co-creator with our bodies, which is really what we are able to be. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I would say that lately I've had this thing, I've talked about it in a few other calls. I don't know if you heard it, but it happened like about 3-4 months ago where I'm suddenly heard, like in my head, I heard you and me, baby, when I thought of my body. And it was like this, you and me together creating something. And that has been one of the greatest, in some weird ways, changes with my body, where suddenly my body became a total co-creator with me. And with that, like you and me, baby, but you and me, body, I use it a lot during the day too. Like you and me, body, what would we like to eat? You and me, body, what would we like to wear? But really have that sense of we're going together through life. We are creating magic together, because that, if you want to create magic with your body, you have to do it with your body. You can't do it against your body, or you have to do it together with your body, because that's where that magic comes from. It doesn't come from you going, molto presto, I'm now thin. because that's not what this kind of magic is. This kind of magic is pragmatic, and it's a creation that you're doing together with your body. Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone else who has a question about that? Co-creation or magic or presence? Oh, let me give you another magic clearing. Okay, I'm going to run this and see if you all get it. So all the magic of you and your body that you've limited by believing that when you become aware of what you're doing, it means that you're doing it more. Instead of that when you become aware of it, you can just let it go. So you can choose something different. Will you uncreate and destroy all of that? Right now I'm going to buy popcorn and it's kind of like the ostrich. You know, the ostrich, when they hide, they put their head in the sand and then they think nobody will see their body. It's very similar. So if you're trying to, basically you're limiting your magic because you don't want to become aware of what you're doing with your body, because if you did, then maybe you will do even more of it. But what if you were willing to be aware of it, you can actually choose something different in that moment. So I'll run it one more time. All the magic that you limited by believing that when you become aware of what you're doing with your body, it means that you're doing it more rather than that you're just about to let it go. So you can choose something different. Can we uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm going to map popcorn, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, any other questions? Any other magic? Okay.
My body's so much happier now. Thank you.
Well, so my body's happier too. And it feels like it's like the beginning of something. Some also,
Yeah.
looking at, seeing if there's something else. Is there anything else that pops for people? Oh, otherwise I'm gonna, maybe we'll finish by running. I would say one of the things before we run this, I found another clearing I want to run, but I don't know how many of you have done body process classes or body classes that are on here. I'm sure quite a few of you have. But one of the things that I've really noticed is that the more you do them, the more access you have to that magic with your body, because one of the things the body processes create is so much less point of view with bodies, like so much less of this reality that comes in with bodies. So strangely, without having to clear it or without having to really think of it, the body processes and the body, like the body work we do in Access, it creates magic with bodies from a totally non-cognitive point of view. Because suddenly, with using the body processes, you do get access to your body in a different way. And that part, it's not something we can talk ourselves to on a call. It's something that you can do by running them more, but also by going to more like body process swaps, bar swaps, or just, body process class, for example. And wherever you decided that the magic of bodies comes through the cognitive, would you uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm going to map popcorn line shorts, boys and beyonds. So this one I would say too. So what have you defined as impossible for you and your body that truly could be possible for you and your body, that if you would allow it to be possible, would manifest as you being the magical being and body you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pop, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. And yes, just said, thank you for saying, because even though I've done body processes for 12 years now, I see the magic of body processes every single day. I find the more I use them, the more amazed I become. It's one of the few things in my life that don't, like, I get bored at so many things in my life. I'm an easily bored person, but body processes just continue to blow me away with what they are able to change and shift in me and in people around me. And yes, and Lila, there are body process classes. I don't know if there's anyone close to you, but there are like 1-day ones. There are body swaps that are evenings. So we can also put a few links in the email where you can see if there are one coming up with you. And I know it varies a lot over Africa. And I also know with COVID, you know, the rules keep varying as well. And I'm sure there will come one close to you at some point. Evelyn, you had your hand up.
Yes, please. Hi.
Yeah, go for it. Hi.
I would like a contribution, maybe with the clearing or something like that. I notice that I keep certain things in my body in place by expecting them to be there. So for instance, I have problem with my knees, and when I want to put my foot at that level, I expect pain. Or when I know I'm going to gym today, I already expect certain limitation in the body. And so I can see that I perpetuate it, I repeat it on and on. Yeah. I have even and I know cognitively, like I wake up and I would like to have my body smaller, but I expect it to be how I left it yesterday before I sleep. So that a lot of those expectations to find the same thing on and on and on, and I can just repeat that.
Well, I think it's brilliant. So how many of us do exactly what Evelyn is describing? So I think that's one of the greatest limitations of the magic we can be. So I've seen sometimes in classes, Dane here will talk about how he can go for a run and then he comes back and even if he went for a run, his whole body has changed, and he really does. He, like, everything changes, or he'll move in sizes and even length depending on his point of view, but he has way less of that, like you're saying, the concluded expectation of sameness, right? Where we really are concluding. And if we were willing to not have an expectation that we would wake up the same size or the same look the next morning, what would be possible? Now, the funny part is we don't expect, for example, our face to be as tired every morning. For example, we know that our facial features shift, right? Like compared to, so there's certain parts of our bodies we think our hair is different, like a little different from day to day. Like there's certain parts of us that we are allowing to shift. And then there are other parts of us that we think they're set in stone. So everywhere where we made our expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections the limitations of the magic that is truly possible with bodies, can we uncreate and destroy all of that? Ooh, right now I'm going to map up a nice short boys meons, and it's even more like what jails are we using to create the E equals MC square. Ooh, that allows the expectations of sameness to limit the magic we are being and choosing in this reality. Everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right now I'm going to buy public online shorts, boys and beyonds. Let me see. What jails are we using to create the dominance of E equals MC square to prove that our expectations of the sameness of our bodies are always in place, not to be a traitor to the gift of the structural cohesion that eliminates the difference we are and the difference we could choose, and the magic we are and the magic we could choose in favor of the ability to function as the fair and just. That is the fairness and justness of this reality. That was a really long clearing. Can we uncreate and destroy all of that? I know I'm going to buy public next choice by smiles, but that last one made you smile, Evelyn. Is that correct? Yeah, there's something about that fairness and justness that, okay, let me see if I can find an even greater version of that. What jails are we using to create the dominance of E equals MC square to prove that we're not a traitor to the gift of structural cohesion that eliminates the difference we are and difference we could choose in favor of the ability to function as the expected and non-magical of bodies, that is the fairness, and justness of this reality. Everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right or wrong, good, about popcorn, nice choice, spicy analysis. Okay, I'm going to run that again. So what else are we using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared to prove that we're not a traitor to the gift of the structural cohesion that eliminates the difference we are and the difference we could choose in favor of the ability to function as the expected sameness of our body, that is the fairness and justness of this reality. Everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right or wrong, good, about popcorn, nice choice, spicy analysis. It makes a lot of sense, because if we were able to change our bodies overnight, we wouldn't be fair and just to everyone else in this reality. Basically, if we were willing to be magical with our bodies, we would not be the same as everyone else in this reality. And that would not be fair and just. And that would really make us stick out from the cohesiveness of this reality and from being like everyone else in this reality. So everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it? Right now, I'm going about popcorn, nice shorts, boys, and beyond. So I love that question. Thank you so much, Evelyn. That was awesome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put that final version of that clearing in the email, and then I would suggest running it a bit, because that had a lot of energy for all of us. I will run it too. And I think that's one of the main reasons we're not willing to be magic, because it is not fair and just toward everyone else. Because if we were being magic and we could choose to change our bodies overnight or not have any of the issues with menopause that we're supposed to have in our 50s or whatever, that would all be unfair and not just to everyone else in this reality. So everywhere where you are committed to be fair and just to the structural cohesiveness of this reality, would you be willing to uncreate and destroy all of that? Ew, right now I'm going to buy popcorn, nice shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I thought magic would be like a light and happy subject that we could talk about with bodies, but it kind of went into the depths of what keeps us real and the same as everyone else. Yes. Thank you. Anyone else has a question? Yeah. Yeah, well, that's such a good point. Leela was writing, I feel my grandma in me with that one. She was fair and just. And I think a lot of people that we actually really adore are also fair and just. Like we have put a lot of positive things for the fair and just, and we often strive to be fair and just. But when we are doing that, we do have to go for the smallest common denominator, which means that we cannot stick out from the crowd and we cannot inspire people to choose something different. So would you rather be fair and just, or would you like to be the source of something completely different and magical? So everything that brings up or down, can we create and destroy it? I know I'm going to wrap popcorn, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whew. Yeah, source, yes. And that it's probably the main choice, like the willingness to be the source of something different, something magical, allows you to be something different as something magical. And if we keep striving to be the same as everyone else and follow the fair and just of this reality, it's very tricky to be the magic we truly be. So everything that is, right now I'm going to wrap popcorn and shorts, boys, and beyonds. Anyone else who wants to ask something? Okay. Whew. That still has some energy going. Yeah, religious. So I love Lila, you're commenting continuously. I really appreciate it. So yeah, well, religious fairness, but it's really like I come from a country which is based on the fair and just. So I grew up in Sweden, which is a country where everybody has to be fair and just, and nobody should stick out from the norm, and everybody really should kind of earn the same amount of money. Even like it's very based on the equality, the idea of that equality is superior to everything else. If you're good in school, you don't get any like extra class. If you're bad in school, you get help to get up to the norm, but you don't try to get people to excel. it's a very like fair and just minded society. So even thinking that you're like different from anyone else kind of breaks that fairness and justness. So everywhere where you have bought that as something that is more beautiful, good, valuable, and superior to everything else, can we uncreate and destroy that? Right? So what would the world be like if we were willing to actually be the source of the difference and magic that is truly possible, instead of be the fairness and justness of this reality and stay the same as everyone else? Right now, I'm going to yeah, exactly. It's also not wanting to outcreate each other, because we are, it's not fair how magical we are. Yeah, but if you have that point of view, so everywhere you have the point of view that it's not fair how magical you are, would you uncreate and destroy that? I know I'm going to be honest. Okay, I think that we should end by just doing like just taking a moment and just tapping into the magic of our body. So if you all close your eyes and just feel your feet on the floor, maybe put your hands on your body. Just take a moment and like be aware of your body. Be aware of, it may not be like this for everyone. And for some of you may perceive like kind of like a vibration in your body after the clearance we've been running, after kind of awakening a little bit of that sense of the magic possible, or the possibility of being a source. Just allow that magic vibration of you in your body. And feel your hands on your body and your body on your hands, your feet on the floor. And allow you, the being, to expand out to the corners of the room. And then expand out beyond your house and street and city and country. Down into the earth, out into the sky. And then stay expanded like that. And then just perceive your body within that space. That's how big you are. That's your body inside of you. You can expand even further. You can expand all the way around the earth and into the universe. Notice your body inside of you, and you, the being, as big as you truly be. Just embrace your body. Now, if you were willing to be this big all the time, what could you create together with your body? If you, the being, were willing to be as big as you truly be, what could you create with your body? Stay expanded. Maybe go even further, go beyond the atmosphere and into the galaxy, beyond the Milky Ways, into the multi-universes. And then tap into something, just anything you would like to change. And just from being expanded all the way out here, just turn one molecule in your body. Just move it, turn it, and allow that change to begin. And everywhere you have an investment in the outcome, which kills all magic, can we uncreate and destroy that? I know I'm going to buy Papa and Shores Price Meals. Just allow that change to move and unfold. And just allow your body to rest and relax within you. And again, tap into the possibility of what source of magic and inspiration and difference you could be. And you are willing to be this big and expanded and co-create with your body inside of you, instead of you trying to change things from within your body. Take a deep breath in and stay that expanded. You don't need to come back, because you're everywhere. And just allow yourself to be with your body this way for a while. Allow your body to be inside you, relaxing, co-creating from this completely different space. And see where it can take you. And thank you everyone for coming on. It's like a crash course in magic.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Kat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Katarina.
Amazing.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.